Hello and welcome to a quick update about Sand. Sand is doing okay at the moment, but what we need to be aware that it is still in a downtrend actually. Basically still in a downtrend here based on this descending trend line that I have on the chart here. After we broke out of this triangle here to the downside as expected in an A, B and C, where we are now basically moving down here further, we can see that we are still here in a downtrend and might be set for continuation to the downside here. We've got certain fib levels on the chart with the next one to go through here to the upside if they want to break. If Sand wants to break to the upside, if the bulls are strong enough, then the bulls have to get through 550. That's the 0.5 fib level, and you can see how relevant that resistance level is. It is also basically the key level that we have to break above on this descending trend line. So we've got a confluence of factors here, two factors coming together that are keeping Sand down at the moment. If Bitcoin obviously going up a little bit at the moment, if Bitcoin continues to do so, I would argue that Sand can easily get above that level as well and will at the moment follow Bitcoin. Bear in mind that in a move up, I think all these metaverse cryptos can make an impressive move up. Yeah, they can make impressive gains. That's what I think. So that's why I say, in terms of dollar cost averaging, Sand, if you're interested in the project, and again, I can't give financial advice, but these might be opportunities to get in while prices are dropping. People are always careful and cautious, which is the right thing to do, but people always get interested when Sand is at $8, $8.50, going into new all-time high territory. But if you like a project, if you think these metaverses are going to change the world, if you like Sand, the Sandbox, why not buy now? I just say it. Even though I'm personally extremely careful with buying now because I do expect prices to go down further overall. But in terms of dollar cost averaging, these might be possibilities where then if you see an irrational move up, for example, something that is countering that downtrend, which is a little bit larger, that could then be used for selling, for example, taking profits. But Sand overall, together with Bitcoin, if you know my Bitcoin analysis, you will know that I expect actually further price drops, which doesn't mean that in the short term we could see another move up, which is actually what I now expect for Bitcoin. As Bitcoin has made quite a bit of a move up, we could get all the way, maybe even up to, and this will make it so difficult, we could even try to make a new high here before we then drop down. But this all depends on Bitcoin. Will we have another, let's call it irrational rally for Bitcoin to the upside before we then drop, or do we drop straight away? It's extremely difficult to say. And we, if we continue to move up a little bit, then we will know that we will probably get into the target range of around 55 to 65k for Bitcoin in that move up before we then drop down. That's only what I believe. I'm happy to be proven wrong, but in both scenarios that I have on the chart, Bitcoin is going to drop to 30k and most probably even lower than 30k. So bear that in mind. I know I'm probably quite alone with that analysis. Everybody's already talking about the next 100k now that Bitcoin has moved up a little bit, unfortunately. But at the moment, I think everybody's interested in where the price could be heading. And Elliott waves are telling us that Bitcoin is going to go down. So in my view here also the Sandbox is going to suffer from that. But if you really like a project and if you think that at some point next year we are going to see the public version come out, because at the moment the Sandbox is in the alpha test, then I think all of this would be interesting buying opportunities. But again, then you could have bought the lows here, which I talked about as well. And we need to be aware that we are still in this downtrend here. And as long as we're not breaking above 550, don't see that relief really happening. But if we can break 550 to the upside, then the next fib level is here at 630, at this previous high as well. And after that, we will probably have here at this previous high, a resistance at 675, and then getting to here, the next fib level at 740. Then you've got that B wave here at 791. Nearly $8, and then we can make it to all-time highs. That is what the key levels of resistance are. Key levels of support, should we drop down, we've got down here at 470. The next key level of support will be here at around 360, a little bit higher maybe because of that previous low here, but it is here based on the fib levels, 360, and then we've got pretty much the $3 level down here. These are key levels of support. Bear in mind, Nobody believed that we could get down to 550 as well and $5, and we've hit it. We've even come below, and as long as we are still here in this pattern, we are continuing the downtrend. So this has been, Sand has followed Bitcoin a little bit now in the move up, but it is facing strong resistance here. And yeah, as I said, even if we go up from here a little bit now, and we could even go all the way up to maybe 740, but then again we would be massively overbought, and I would expect another price drop, also just looking at the indicators, but then also following Bitcoin, because the indicators are still too high. If we take a look on the weekly, and as you know, I expected this drop anyway for Sand especially, and I did pre-warn you to take profits when we were above $7. So because we are still here on the weekly in the overbought range, we just can't easily make much higher prices now. There is scope, yes, but ideally we want to correct much further, which would actually confirm what I told you, that I expect further price drops. Overall here on the MACD as well, on the weekly we are starting to slow down, which also confirms that, as the trend seems to be changing. On the daily we see also here the MACD not slowing down to the downside. So here on the shorter term time frame, the daily, we can see the MACD's downtrend is not slowing down, it's not losing any momentum. Also the RSI isn't losing any momentum here, maybe a little bit starting to lose momentum, possibly finding support here at the 50 line for now. But again, we would need to break the 550 line to get back into at least a short-term uptrend. But even then, because of the whole market, and if you've seen my Bitcoin video, I won't explain it all here again, I would expect after a possible, not guaranteed, but after a possible short relief rally, the price to go down further, and I would expect Sand to follow, or Sand drop together with the other cryptos to drop straight away into lower areas. What I need to say is that I still believe Sand is obviously a great project, and I think after this correction that has to play out, also for Bitcoin, that we're going to see another rally and possibly a bull market next year that so far not many people did expect. Looks like we are currently in a large correction that actually started in April, ABC, even though we had highs in the middle of the year, but it's looking like we are in a large correction, and that has to play out before we can enter a real bull market. So this would then be in line with price expectations many people have. It would just be much later than expected, at some point next year, which I think is a good sign, because it means that we don't have to go through a year-long bear market. And it would also indicate that we haven't seen the bull market yet. It would indicate that we are only having now a corrective move before we then continue to go up for Bitcoin, and I think Sand will follow. What is important to understand is that Sand will probably follow in a much more volatile way. What we've seen before when Bitcoin did drop, that Sand and other gaming cryptos, for example Mana, Gala, were much more volatile and recovered much quicker. I would expect that as well, and in the next bull market here, or in the next relief rally that could happen before we drop down, that relief rally, I expect them to do really well, because there's a lot of focus still on metaverse and gaming, and I don't see this stop. Yes, the initial hype has maybe stopped, but also there is still a lot of focus. That's my take on Sand. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.